pulls are straight. There's no centripetal force. You weigh the most.
Makes it extra hard to move in the snow.
Yeah. It actually gets better. Because the faster the Earth spins, theoretically, this has always just been my favorite physics problem. It's not a real problem because the Earth is never going to spin at a different rate than it does now. But the faster the Earth spins, the more that weight difference gets magnified, right?
Right. It's like if you're spinning a tire swing really fast.
Yeah, what happens?
My brother gets sick.
You're listening to the NPR physics talk.
Lakshmi saying NPR.
Yeah, that's right.
You're listening to Lakshmi Sheng on Shanghai, NPR Shanghai. Welcome.
Welcome. I am also Lakshmi saying.
I'm Cole Bruckner. So when the Earth is spinning fast enough, the downward pull of gravity is actually like, so when you're on a tire swing, what happens if you're standing on the tire swing? You get thrown off, right? If it's going too fast. Or you're on one of those spinny rides at the park that like goes around.
Yeah.
If it goes too fast, you can't stand up on it. You'll get flown off, right?
Yeah.
That's because the humans aren't being pulled by the same force, so they don't get pulled inward. They don't accelerate with the object, so they get thrown off. It's the same with the Earth. If the Earth starts spinning faster, you'll get thrown off. The only reason you don't get thrown off now is because of gravity.
So if the Earth was spinning faster, there wouldn't be sufficient gravity to keep us grounded.
Exactly. At the equator, the speed that it would need to go to cancel out gravity would be a 84-minute day. I don't know how fast that is, but it's an effective 84-minute day.
So
pretty
like
fast.
15 times faster.
That's good math, Jasper.
Good guess.
I don't feel like doing math right now, but yeah, 84-minute day. Everyone at the equator would become a projectile. If it goes any faster, they'll actually get thrown into outer space. Us in the northern.
Faster?
Like
even a little bit faster.
Does that mean
84-minute day is exactly how fast you need to be for you to be like floating on the Earth, but have no force downward and no force upward.
Okay.
It's the Goldilocks zone of floating.
That was probably how our ancestors got here. They came and then they floated in place, and then slowly the Earth got slower, so they started sinking down to the ground.
I think that's a good theory, and we should investigate it.
So let's investigate. Let's go.
Let's go. Bring my guitar.
All around the world, people looking for the answers. We will never know unless we find them ourselves. Hi, it's me, Dan, here on Discovery Channel. We're getting ready for another good adventure. Let's go. Let's check it out.
What's the name of this podcast?
Oh, this podcast is this music podcast with Cole, Jasper, and Sasha.
Yeah.
Sasha, say hi.
Hello.
Sasha Burek, everyone.
Jasper, can you do this real quick?
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on today? How you doing?
It's a good day out in Southern California. The weather is about 69 degrees.
I would say it is maybe 61,
Yeah.
62 degrees.
I always prefer it at 69. So, beautiful day. There's no real sun, but it's not raining or anything. And in 2019, that's I guess rare.
It was raining for a while, huh?
3 young people in the Pacific Palisades enjoying music together on a sunny afternoon with no sun.
This table's getting fucked up. that'd be a cool intro to do that because they do it live in G.
Ocean man, by the hand, lead me to the land. Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand.
Somebody rhymes with
man,
sand.
take me by the hand, lead me
I
to
didn't
the
even know
land
that
that
rhymed.
you understand.
Is this a real song?
Yeah, that's the end of the SpongeBob movie.
Is that the part with David Hasselhoff, or am I thinking of a
That's
different?
no, it's
that's
after that.
later, yeah.
It's after that. It's when he's like, "This is the happiest day of my life." Ocean man, take me
Wow,
by
okay, I
the-
guess it's been a while since I've watched that great film.
Did you come to my 7th birthday party?
Yes.
That was a great birthday party. One of the best birthday parties I ever had was, we saw the SpongeBob movie in theaters, original movie. I was 7, and we got SpongeBob-shaped cookies.
Yeah, there were multiple SpongeBob
themed.
like sweet baked paraphernalia. It was like in a private theater kind of.
And the girl I had a crush on, Claire Kristoff, came too, I think, and that was nice.
And there's a picture of me and Olivia talking to Navi Ben Safadi. And he didn't have his glasses yet.
What's Olivia doing these days?
No comments.
Okay. What's Navi doing? He's studying physics, just like you. Have you met Ben Safadi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Safadi's cool.
He's a physics guy.
He was my service worker in 6th grade.
Damn.
For who? Carnine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hernandez.
Oh, Hernandez, yeah. Were you high honors? No.
Alright.
So, Sasha, you're the guest, so we're gonna focus on you, I think.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, you can
Sure
come on
thing. You're our
anytime.
first guest, so we really don't know what we're doing.
That's so exciting.
You actually live in the same house as me, is that right?
Some people think that, but I prefer to think of it as low bird and high bird. My brother is low bird because he lives on the bottom floor.
Well, now,
And
You
now
guys are just
interesting-
renters in the same building, really.
interesting point, because actually I've since moved to back up to the top floor, so.
I guess now we can be East Bird and West Bird. Me being
I like
West
that.
Bird.
I like
Does that mean that you have a low bird spot available?
Yeah, you want to live here?
Well, our
That's
two
special.
hamsters are occupying that
That's
room.
right. How is the one hamster doing?
Spooky.
She's getting a little better.
We
I think.
we made a Get Better Spooky song and we
Oh, yeah.
played it for her, and I think that is the decisive factor in her upturn in health.
Yeah, she's getting a little better.
Please pray for Spooky if you're the praying type.
If you're listening to this, if you got this far, thank you, first of all, and welcome to the collective consciousness that we're creating.
And you are a part of it as
You're also,
much as we are.
You're creating it by listening to it. The listening is half the battle. There's 2 parts of battle: listening and talking. And one of those sometimes will change to fighting, which is what real battles. But there's always one of the other 2 as well. You hear a battle and people are going, Niner, blah, blah, blah." That's talking.
Blue 47, all dogs go to heaven,
That's-
as we used to say in elementary school.
Was that the? When did you say that?
We would say it when we were hiking the football in PE class.
Wait, so blue 47?
You know how they're
They said,
putting
yeah.
the ball and they're
24.
about to pass. Yeah, so we would say blue 47, all dogs go to heaven.
I like
Hike,
that. I like
and then
that.
we would hike the ball.
Wait, did you play tackle football?
Wow, I never played tackle football.
I've played tackle football at other times in my life, but I can't remember if we were allowed to play tackle football in elementary school. I feel like not.
Yeah, I feel like they never even had us play like even flag football.
In our elementary school, we were very politically conscious. Like one time they banned dodgeball because kids were complaining because they were wusses and they were getting
Yeah.
hurt. And so we
How about they stubbed it out?
Here's the thing about dodgeball. Like, it's a stupid sport. I mean, like, I never played dodgeball with like the handballs where you'd actually get hurt.
Oh,
I didn't play dodgeball until Paul Revere, and
Yeah.
they had those nice puffy
Oh.
little winkers.
yeah.
yeah, no, we played with handballs. But
Handballs is the real.
My
That's the
point-
real deal. But
Yeah.
like, not like get rid of dodgeball. That's
yeah, no, so like parents were complaining, so like the teachers and the PE coach who I had like beef with also,
Oh yeah.
like
Oh,
they
that's-
they banned it and they took it away, and so like as fourth graders, like, staged, like, a sit-down protest on the dodgeball court. We, like...
Sit-down protest on the dodgeball court!
Yeah, so, like... I think that happened for a week, and then they brought back dodgeball. But we were very, like, politically minded young people. Like, we would have school wars between, like, for example, the third graders and the fifth graders. And
Seems kind of unfair.
They could... Oh, but we won. The third graders won.
Oh,
we got
what?
a bunch of the fifth graders benched, so they got in trouble, and it was great. We were...
Was this it?
This is at Canyon.
At Canyon? Wait, was I in that?
I was in third grade.
You went to two
It
different...
was when I was in
There
third
was
grade.
also one, remember the pizza box war?
Yeah, there was a pizza box
Oh,
war
man,
where,
we
like,
had so many
Shane
schools.
Todd, like, I don't know, a bunch of guys came and they were, like, fucking you up, and you had these pizza boxes, and you were just, like...
flinging the pizza boxes at them like a frisbee and just hitting them, and it was really fun. Then that was School War II that I experienced.
There was also the Tamagotchi war, and, like, Daniel Hanani and, like, other people were just screaming, like, kill the Tamagotchis!
Kill them.
Yeah, on the apparatus.
The
Oh, that was on
apparatus.
the
Do you remember those
apparatus.
flowers near the apparatus that you
That
could
you could
pick off
eat?
and
Yeah.
suck the like honey part?
Yeah.
I don't relate to your problems.
Let's
These
talk
are
about Paul
stories of
Revere
old.
stuff, because this was like the intro to Paul Revere. Now we can get to Paul Revere.
Paul Revere was probably the best school ever made. Everything about that school is done perfectly.
It looked like a
Tardy
jail.
sweeps, a great idea.
Oh, tardy sweeps. Man, I had a class.
Silent sustained reading, sign me up.
When I was in 8th
Slut
grade.
shaming underage girls for
Slut
wearing
shaming
shorts
12-year-olds for wearing shorts.
in
saying,
LA
like,
heat.
Being like,
Yeah.
it's your fault. You shouldn't show off your body. And
We're
they would
looking
probably
at
be
your
like,
body, but it's your job not
Yeah,
to
it's
show
your
it
fault.
off.
Preparing them for the real world.
Absolutely.
I used to hate it because I used to like to wear these, spaghetti strap tank tops.
Oh yeah, I would
thought you were
get
gonna say
in
'cause you
trouble
really
for
like
that a
to
lot.
look
My
at
friends would make
girls.
fun of me.
And,
In the age of the internet, I feel like real life school is not a problem for horny teenage boys.
Unless you're like,
Unless you're an absolute fuckwit.
I feel like there's the real aspect where any boy going and looking at porn, it's
What's
not going to
porn?
be as porn.
What's that?
It's I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But it's
we're gonna have this conversation after.
yeah, that's gonna be
podcast.
after hours. That's gonna be on the premium episode.
Premium pay rate if you want to hear Cole learning
Let's
about
see.
porn.
Let's see if anyone wants to actually pay to hear this podcast. I'll
I
start
would-
the bidding at $0.01.
Let's see. Please comment if you
Please
would like
call
to pay.
now, even though this is being pre-recorded.
What's your number, Cole? Can you put it out there?
Yes, it is noneofyourbusiness.com. If you have my number, you know who you are, and we can be friends.
Oh, but what I was saying is like, if you're a middle school boy, you can enjoy porn and be like, that's really hot. But like, if you want any sort of tangible part
Real
of that-
gratification.
yeah, real
Okay,
gratification.
what's better, actual naked women on the internet, or like 12-year-old girls
I'm not
that are
saying-
wearing clothes?
I'm not saying okay. Well, so we shouldn't answer that question.
We shouldn't
First of
answer
all.
that question.
We shouldn't.
I'm just posing it rhetorically.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But
I'm not affiliated with anything Cole might be saying about 12-year-old girls, even rhetorically.
So anyway, Paul Revere was an amazing place.
Yes. You weren't allowed to use your cell phones or your iPods. One time, I used to always break that rule and
You're not
listen to my iPod, which had like a bright red cover on it. And like, I would always have it. And then one day, my good friend, John Icapino, shout out, he had like a flip phone, which everyone had, and it was like gray and very like inconspicuous. And like, he got detention for having it out during lunch, and he didn't get mad, but he was like, I find it ironic that like your bright red iPod doesn't get noticed, but like this very inconspicuous phone does.
man, he was just putting out bad energy.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Where did you eat lunch?
Oh, that's a critical
Because
question.
I feel like people who ate lunch in like the seated lunch area for 6th and 7th graders were like weird normies that I would never want to talk to.
Where did the cool kids eat lunch?
On the steps.
Just other places. Like I always ate at Mr. Carnan's room, and then at the Quad, of course, in 8th grade.
Me and my friends during 6th and 7th grade, we mainly ate at the very back tables of that underneath lunch area where the vending machines
Oh,
were
that place was
by the
nice.
lunch
That
line.
place is nice.
And like we were like kind of outsider kids. Like we weren't cool and we didn't like go on the steps where like the like popular kids hung out.
Wait, those
But-
big steps, huh?
Yeah, the big like the.
I can't even remember the steps.
Like it was weird. It was like concrete big steps and like grass.
Where did they go?
They
it
were
was opposite the
opposite the lunch
covered
line.
lunch area
Yeah.
on the other
Yeah, but
side.
where did I could picture like where
They
did
weren't. There wasn't
Up
a
to the X
staircase.
buildings.
It was like a, like it was
Oh.
long steps. It was like
Yeah.
maybe 4 big concrete
like, from
steps
there
and then
to here.
grass
Yeah, why?
Like why was that there?
Yeah.
for kids to
Like
eat
you're saying,
lunch.
you,
I
you
think.
see, your old thing was Power Review's the perfect school. So
Well,
you tell
not
me.
not everything. You know, we could be perfect and have some inconsistencies.
That's true. That's a good point.
The one place that I ate lunch once and never went back was the farm.
Oh,
We had a farm. We had a farm at our middle school.
With like real ass
and-
animals, chickens.
Yeah,
and
there were
shit.
chickens.
And they would
stuff.
escape sometimes.
Yeah.
Just go like
And
around the school.
So
They
I
built a lockdown.
went there with my friend once during lunch in 6th grade, and then like I needed to get something from my locker, but they locked us in that area because like for the first like 5 or 10 minutes of lunch and recess you were allowed to move about the
Oh,
school,
yeah.
but then after that you were
Oh,
locked
man, I
in the
forgot
area.
about that.
Yeah, you were locked in the area that you were supposed to be in.
That was so dumb. I forgot
So
about
like
that.
I didn't
Oh, wait,
know
what?
that because I was like in 6th grade and it was like the beginning of school.
You're not
and
allowed to. Oh yeah.
I went to the farm and I needed to get shit from my locker, but then I went to the gate and it's just these giant gates, like twice the size of a 6-foot man, like just locked. And so I just started climbing the gate, and then Mr. Honda came out
Oh,
and started
fuck Mr.
screaming at me,
Honda.
and he's like, "Get down, and I got
Oh,
in
wait,
trouble.
I was thinking of Mr.
And then I
Shibata.
never went back to the fucking farm again.
Mr. Honda was
Fuck
the farm guy. Yeah.
Fuck the farm.
But I like the
I went there
animals,
once
though.
with Allison Wyatt and Jade Ryan, classic friends. Those were like my best friends. Those were a couple of my best friends for a
Really?
while. Yeah, I was really close
I
with
remember
them.
when Allison was part of your friend group in like
Yeah.
the like when you guys were in like the random phase of
Oh,
your
yeah.
life and like
She was queen of random.
She was random to the extreme.
She-
What does
And-
that mean exactly?
Do you remember random humor? Random humor is
Kids
still
would be
a
like,
big part
"I'm
of
so
it.
random."
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
So many kids were fake though. They
Yeah,
couldn't
they
just
were
come up with
fake
shit
random.
off. Like you guys come up
It's
with
like
shit off the
improv
fly.
for kids,
Yeah.
but they called it random.
That's a good. Yeah, it
It's
was
like
like.
spin the wheel of nouns.
And that's why Jasper's good
I
at
was
Spin the
good at
wheel
that.
of things to say and pick
Yeah,
one.
maybe. It's,
Yeah, it's like, okay, did you ever know the Badger song? I feel like that, like,
I don't know. I might have missed
my
it.
brother's gonna play it.
I was always a normal.
It actually didn't have any notes, but it's like. Badger, badger, badger,
Oh yeah.
mushroom, mushroom.
So I feel like
How
that.
do you do this?
Mushroom, mushroom.
How does he
To the
come up
best
with
part,
these off the
to the
cuff?
best part.
Ah, steak, steak, it's a snake. Whoa, it's a snake.
That was the
That's pretty good. That was really good, guys.
I didn't make that up. That was real.
I know.
Yeah.
But I feel like
That's
that
random.
video for
That's
me
so random.
encapsulates all of what annoyed me as like an 8th grader about you as a 6th grader when like you were in middle school and like that was
Oh
like
yeah, because
what your friends liked to do.
it's literally like the most annoying a person can be. Is just
Yeah.
endlessly spouting new ideas with no filter or
Yeah,
placement.
so it was kind of like the point was kind of to be annoying or to be
And it
like
was fun and funny.
or like girls would like think that they were like cute or like or guys
They
too.
were.
I don't know.
They
I
were.
thought I
Okay,
was
okay,
a hella
okay.
cute kid. But no one else seemed to agree.
Do you guys remember people who would sell Japanese candy out of their lockers
Yeah.
in middle school and it was like being a drug dealer
They
but in
did.
middle
They
school?
did Kool-Aid gummy
Okay,
bears
my
too.
middle school actually had
And
drug
Takis.
dealers.
Okay, no,
Know
there were
about them.
yeah, there were
We
kids.
went to the same middle school.
Yeah. There was a girl who got OT'd for like selling weed at
Yeah.
Paul Revere and
But it
I was
wasn't-
very scandalized as a very like sheltered like
Man, I remember this kid.
young
This
I
kid.
didn't know people actually did drugs at all until maybe 9th grade. I mean, besides like crazy old people, but
You mean like
kids-
that kids did it?
yeah, the kids my age did it. That was a very big wake up call for
When
me.
did you? Well, I'll put this in non-legally binding terms. So when did you first, get acquainted?
Get acquainted? I don't know what that means. I've never done drugs.
Okay. Well, let's move past that. But yeah, they used to do Kool-Aid like gummy bears that you just put Kool-Aid powder in and shake
a
it in a
bag,
bag
yeah.
and sell it for like $1 or $2.
It was no mames.
It's
That's
good.
tragic.
And Takis. That's when I first found out about
Yeah,
Takis, and they were so
Takis.
like the regular Fuego Takis.
It
were
tasted
so
so
spicy. for me.
spicy at that time. being
And
a
now
white
I'll
person.
eat I'll eat a large bag.
Yeah.
And then like
That was a cool
I'll
maneuver.
feel
Did you guys
bad
see
in
that?
the stomach, but it
Yeah.
tasted very good.
There was also like people loved haichu, like the
Yeah,
Japanese
haichu.
candies, or like
yeah.
ramune, like that drink. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Is that with the
Ramen.
ball?
Yeah, with the ball that
the
you
push.
pop in.
That was so
Just like
cool.
a lot of like Japanese like cool sugary stuff. I feel like Brandon Binush told me that he was one of those candy
Oh,
dealers
big
at
time he
Revere
was.
because he was trying to make those
Yeah,
big bucks.
I think he was. Yeah. He's always had a mind for just like
Enterprise.
enterprise. Yeah, he's a great businessman.
There is no one so
In that,
determined
yeah.
and cunning as Brandon,
He
but
is
also
cunning.
very warm-hearted
Yeah.
and a good person.
It's a good combo, cause like
It's
you,
rare.
you know, yeah, it is rare. I don't know anyone like him. Cause like
Yeah.
there are people that have his skills of like being
But
able to
they're
maneuver
assholes?
situations, but
Yeah.
they're just an asshole and you don't want to be around him. But he's just like a nice guy. Like he's very nice.
Yeah, he's high tier,
He is high tier. Oh man,
high vibrational.
I wanna rap with Brandon again.
You guys should invite Brandon on the show and do a.
Brandon,
Brandon Nushin.
Brandon
I,
Nushin.
Brandon Nushin,
I
yeah.
invited him and he was like,
Brandon
"Oh, I don't
Nushin."
want to. I'm not gonna rap, no. And he's shy about it because he's like not like trained musically, but he raps really well. He just freestyles. And
I think he
Okay.
just he has really eclectic and good taste in music. Like we've been like exchanging music recently,
Yeah.
and he likes a lot of good stuff.
He's
Like
been listening to Touche
from-
Amore.
yeah, he told me that too. He listens to I Speak, which is this like Russian trap music that tries to be like a fairy tale.
Oh, can you talk about the Russian trap you've been listening to?
Russian trap.
Like the guy we listened to on the way to Moon Tribe?
Oh, that's not Russian. That's
Oh no, he's Estonian. Or
Estonian.
Latvian?
Yeah, that dude is called Tommy Cash, and he's just like he's been on. I think he played at Deckmantle last year, which is like techno, but he's just like very cool, like very fashion, and his songs are. His music videos, like he derives a lot from like Aphex Twin videos, but like he's also just so weird and idiosyncratic, and his one of his characters in one of his songs is just like this, like the song that I like is like Win the Lotto, and it's this guy. Oh. Oh, I think I'll win the lotto. Oh my God, can you believe me? Okay, that's as much as I know. Anyway, his songs are like this dude who's like this poor guy who has a hot model girlfriend and he thinks that he won the lotto. That's basically
That's
it. But it's a
pretty
great song. You should all check it out.
Tommy Cash. What? So I remember. So you like techno still a lot.
Yeah.
You've been in techno for a while.
I've been in techno. I've been on techno since like university. I was into dubstep in high school when that was like a thing. There's still some good dubstep. I'll still stand dubstep, but it has like
Nowhere.
not all of it.
Nowhere is kind of dubstep stuff. Some of
I
it.
wouldn't call it dubstep.
Some
Definitely
of-
electronic, but not.
But some of it has definitely the. Whoop!
I don't love EDM. I can do like IDM and like some dubstep. I don't listen to it that much, and yeah, mainly one of my main genres that I like is techno, but I don't listen to it all that much. Like I like going to see it if I'm gonna go see it.
What's the difference between like seeing it live and just listening to it?
I mean, it's fun to like blast it in your car, but sometimes like you just want to hear like a song with a melody, or you want to sing to the song in the car. You can't really
More
sing
something
to
of,
techno.
of hard substance.
Yeah, and techno, what I like about techno is that it is so pervasive and just like all-encompassing. Like you go to these undergrounds, you're in this warehouse and everything is dark. I can barely see because I'm supposed to wear glasses and I don't. And if you're partaking of any substances, that makes it harder to see. And
Like cookies or milk.
yeah,
Stuff.
cookies, milk,
Or tea, hot tea.
tea.
Maybe
Yeah, so
some
they do
coffee.
sometimes sell coffee at the undergrounds, to be honest.
Like weak coffee, right? Some
Weak coffee? No,
Weed
they sell
coffee.
good coffee. Not weed coffee.
What's that?
Anyway,
It's,
I like it because like you can feel your ego dissolving in the music and you
That's
become
good.
part of just like this wave
That's good.
of repetitiveness, and I feel like it mirrors all the cyclical things that we experience in life, like the seasons, time is cyclical.
That's
our,
really deep.
Yeah,
Why
no.
do you think time is cyclical?
There's a lot of reasons why I feel that way, but do you ever just know my latest thing is that cuz I've been trying to get to the bottom of time, and I feel like my most recent idea is that time is a spiral, kind of like what we were talking about with the magnets earlier. Cole was telling us about how magnets work, and there's kind of these spiraling forces that could be right-handed or left-handed running through magnets that create the magnetic field around them. But that's my idea about time, because do you ever notice, like, you'll be going through something that it feels like you went through something similar, but in a different area of your life or a different way, and, like, it's almost like if you can imagine a spiral staircase, you're walking up a spiral staircase and you're walking over the spots that you had been before.
Oh yeah.
But just above them. So you're
Like
not
in
at
Minecraft.
you're not at the same place, but you're somewhere that feels similar.
Because
Each
there's
loop of the
a
staircase is
cross-section
like
that's the
a
same.
year, and every
Yeah,
time
you
we
can
do
think
we
of it
do
as
the
a
same thing
year.
every year, or a day.
Day,
Every day
yeah.
you wake up, you go to
You can break
school
it down
or
into any
work
chunk,
or,
yeah.
or downstairs, or take a shit, or you do the
Yeah.
same things every day.
That's so
You
true.
have
Yeah.
a routine, right? And
Most
then
people,
maybe
yeah.
every week you have a bigger routine. That's like meta staircases on staircases.
Like you go to the store,
Yeah.
or you go to
Every-
your
yeah,
house,
you
or
go to-
sit in
you
your
go to the
driveway,
store
or
once
You can
a
break
week,
it
you
down
go
to any
your house
level that you
once a week,
want.
or you
yeah.
go to your store, or you go to, I don't know, you go to your house.
There are things you do every week, and then there are things
Yeah.
you do every year. Like over the summer, you go on vacation, or you celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving or
Yeah, even
Valentine's Day.
Across multiple years of your life, if you're at all interested in astrology, you might know when, for example, if you were born when Saturn was in Pisces, and Saturn takes something like 27 or 28 years to return to where it was.
That's a lot,
So they
yeah.
call it your Saturn return, when Saturn returns to the position that it was at when you were born, and that's a very big moment in
What does
people's
that
lives.
do? What does that do for you?
Well,
I
You
mean,
get a
it
certain
hasn't
resonance.
happened yet. I don't
Oh,
know.
No.
time. The circle of time induces resonance because when you're in a place that you were in before, there's some kind of reaching from another place that lines up with you. That's just resonance.
yeah.
That's another
Yeah,
way
but
to-
it's Saturn.
I mean, all
Saturn
the pla-
resonates, man.
I
Yeah,
think
but not.
Cole-
I mean, it's not at a rate that we can tell. Probably.
It's probably like this. What if it's just that note
all
Maybe I'll
actions
just wake
have
up when I'm 28
untold
and just hear that
consequences. So.
all day?
all day, forever, and then I'll have to kill myself because I'm.
Hey.
No, I'll have perfect pitch.
Exactly. You'll never forget. You know, okay,
That E.
I forget who was talking about it, but birds have perfect pitch.
Of course they do.
Listen to birds.
That's interesting.
Like, if you ever wake up early, listen to birds for like 30 minutes, and because they'll always be right on.
Maybe that's just how they do.
But that'll teach you perfect pitch even better.
Oh, so I don't know if birds actually have perfect pitch. It's not the same thing.
Well, they just are constantly consistent.
Maybe they only have one note they can sing.
How many levels of consistency can you be? Can you be consistent?
I feel like if you're consistent, then yeah.
How many levels of other shit?
To be truly consistent, you have to be infinitely consistent.
You know how
We're getting into a hallway of infinites.
you
You
know
know
how
what's consistently consistent is ice cream with chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh.
It's not it's consistent. Yeah, it's infinitely consistently good. It's not infinitely consistent. That's like the void is infinitely
you can be
consistent.
consistently consistent.
Nothing
without
is infinitely
being
consistent because atoms aren't consistent.
This doesn't sound
Do
like
you
a word.
think change is consistent?
I feel like that's an oxymoron, but at the same time, yes. Change is inevitable.
I
It's
feel
not
like
the same
change
thing as-
never stops. You just either get on the grind or you get off the grind.
Change is inevitable, but that doesn't make it consistent. Like the change is
Its
always
its
different.
existence
Every
is
instance of
consistent, though.
change is a new, unexpected turn. So no.
But isn't its presence or its existence or its functioning consistent? If change is always present, doesn't that create some kind of consistency? You can always rely on the fact that change is happening.
No, but that's not really relying on anything. Because change is just a word we've made up to describe things that are different from what they used to be. In reality, there's nothing that's consistent about it. Other than change, which isn't a real thing. Change is the act of some state being different from the state before it. But the only real things are those individual states.
Now, but if you personify change, then you can personify a whole new class of things like that don't exist, but they're made of negative
Continuity
space.
is the opposite of change. Continuity is when there is no change.
But don't you think that things
Or,
are
you know, continuity.
always changing even when they don't appear to be changing? Like, I mean, if you look at people, like,
Yeah.
we're always aging. We might think that from moment to moment, like from when I started this sentence to now, that I look the same, but there's actually internal changes
things,
happening.
yeah.
My heart is on a new beat right now. New blood is pumping through my veins. Like, I think in that way, you can always know that change is happening, even if you don't know what the next change is going to be. Fuck you guys.
I agree.
Well, I was listening. I just wanted to do this.
No, I
too.
feel like you creeped up on me and you're turning my monologue into a song. I
It's
feel
just
like
a
I'm
great
in a
song.
musical.
Well, you know what the song is.
No. Is it a Pink Floyd song?
Yeah.
I do know what song this is. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get more tea.
I am Pink Floyd. I like looking at my watch. I like hanging out with my friends and thinking about what time it is. I like
Wait a
to
minute.
sing my song.
Where's the recorder?
It's under the shirt. I
Oh.
put the shirt because the wind is gonna.
Are we still gonna get picked up?
Yeah,
All right.
it'll be a little bit.
Should we wait for
That
her
was
to start
all.
the song?
That was all the lyrics I have. Well, while she's gone, Cole. What are you and I doing today? We're going to a special music class. Is that right?
Yes.
We're going to music class at 6
Yeah, David
o'clock.
Bragger's old time string band is
Didn't
a
we
great.
shout him out last episode too?
Oh, almost definitely.
We should shout him out after.
We just love that guy. He's just great.
He's one of the most positive guys that I think I
Yeah.
know. He just wants people to enjoy things the way he enjoys them,
Yeah.
like old time songs and music.
And I'm coming for you, David. I'm gonna play mandolin today. You won't see it coming.
What if he hears this episode?
Not before
Before it
tonight. I
airs.
don't think it'll get up in time.
You never know.
We
man.
still have to take our picture for the episode.
Oh man, one day I want to bring my recorder to that class and just record it, and that'll be the podcast.
Did David say he saw the first one, or?
No, I didn't send it to him.
Well, it's on the internet.
Yeah.
I shared it on Facebook, so we're kind of famous.
Yeah, like this podcast, like you guys don't even know it yet, but like this podcast is kind of a big deal. Like we're kind of like, we're kind of podcast stars.
My
So-
brother just put his hat on backwards. It was forwards and now it's backwards,
Hey.
and that means that
Hey, cut the chatter.
he's cool.
Let's talk pods.
Take it away, the moments that make up the dull day. Written waste the hours in an offhand way. Digging around on a piece of ground in your hometown. Waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Sunshine, staying warm to watch the rain. You are young and life is long. There is time to kill today. And then one day you'll find 10 years have gone behind you. No one told you where to run. You missed the starting gun.
Oh fuck.
It has just started raining.
It just started
but
raining like a
luckily
lot.
we're under a small structure that's keeping us dry.
It's the sun is still out though. Like there's blue sky right there.
And I just commented about how great the weather was.
Maybe it hurt you.
I knew it was gonna rain and I didn't say anything,
What
but
the fuck, California? You're supposed to not rain. That's the whole point of living here.
Apparently
I could move to Seattle if I wanted this
it was
lifestyle.
it was the only February in LA history, recorded history, that didn't reach 70 degrees once in February.
Really?
yeah, my friend told me
Really?
that last night.
Yeah.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah. That's what I heard on Reddit.
Really?
Yeah.
One more time.
What?
Fuck you.
Hey, so you. Oh, I just noticed you have 4 dots, 4 piercings. Things.
I have 2 piercings, of which there are 2 ends of each.
Didn't you only used to have 1 though?
Did you not notice that this has been on my face for the past like 2
I mean, I've
months?
definitely seen it. I just haven't really noticed, I guess.
That's really weird because I feel like it looks really different from how it was before because
does,
I
yeah.
took out my other piercing, which was halfway through my left
yeah.
eyebrow. I took that out and it had a ball on both ends. This one has spikes on the top, so I
That
feel
sounds
like
painful.
it did hurt. She kind of messed it up. The first one, she's like, "Let me
It's
just get that
cool
in there."
you just have a rectangle. Like,
Yeah,
in
you have
the
a nice
middle.
rectangle
It's like
on
a
your
little bit
face.
below your third eye, right?
Yeah,
Your third eye, kind of center. Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
Wait,
I
what's the
definitely-
third eye?
That's one of your chakras, man.
I feel like Cole needs to do
What you're
some.
I thought the third eye is.
No, your root chakra is your sex chakra.
Oh.
That's right.
Your
Is that
third-
why? Because okay, so I
They're
heard,
all connected.
I heard this system. So you know how we use A440 to tune? Like
This makes sense.
Okay.
The body is a tube,
yeah,
so think of it like a recorder.
yeah. So you know,
Why
you know,
am I out of pitch so often?
you know how so the A above middle C, right?
Yeah.
They tune it to 440 vibrations a second.
Yeah,
But
cop
in
helicopter.
Baroque times, fuck LAPD.
The
ACAB.
views of
Fuck
Jasper.
LAPD.
The views of Jasper on cops are in no way reflective
you don't know
of
what
the
I- you don't-
views of the music podcast with Jasper and Cole. Thank you very much.
You don't know what we don't know what that acronym stood for. It could be a completely different thing. Anyway,
What did I say?
But
Oh, cops.
Don't worry about it.
That could be an acronym too.
So but back in Baroque days, they used to tune the A above middle C to 432
Sure. I've heard about
vibrations
that.
a second. So there's some theory, I don't know if it's true, that is the more peaceful tuning, because at 440 sometimes things are sort of
That's
hectic and out of alignment, but I haven't really noticed. I don't
You'd
know.
think it would really matter.
Yeah, you think it'd just
You
be
guys
different.
should go to a sound bath if you've never been to one.
What's that?
It's where
That
they're
sounds wonderful.
yeah, you go. They're very cool. You can go to them in a lot of like spiritual houses or like places where they do like Kundalini yoga and stuff like that. And they have certain instruments. A lot of them are like sound bowls, like Tibetan sound bowls, gongs, rain sticks, different instruments. I don't know the names of all of them, but they're tuned to certain frequencies that are meant to produce certain feelings and vibrations in your body that heal you.
That's cool.
And that reset your internal frequencies in some way.
And do you like close your eyes and just like
Yeah,
get into it?
you're laying down, and
Oh,
it's all
sounds so
very
nice.
spiritual and
Sounds
very
so good.
there's like dim lights, and
That sounds good.
you do some kind of like tuning in, kind of like you do in yoga.
We should do that for Melanie's birthday. Open it with that.
Oh, that
Just
would be
have
sick.
Make everyone lay down. And
Yeah,
close
that
their
would be
eyes.
sick.
Oh, but so on that line of things being tuned like that, so using A432 as the root, so your base chakra, which is like your sex area around there, and like your bottom of your spine,
The
right?
bottom of your tailbone, yeah.
Yeah, that's apparently resonates on a C if you're tuned to A. So like, we'll just kind of come over this.
Play the note.
Yeah, so it's, your root chakra is. And then what's the next one? The orange one?
The orange one is the sacral chakra. It connects to your reproductive organs and
And, like,
your
feelings,
emotions,
emotions, right?
feelings, yeah.
So your sacral chakra resonates using the same system A432. It resonates on a D.
I think you're making this up.
I'm not. I
Okay.
heard about this.
Where did you hear about this?
From my doctor.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's a strange
Cool.
kind of doctor.
You're skeptical.
Of course.
That's the science major. But
You
okay,
think you-
you know what? I
Yeah.
have some books that you should read.
I don't read. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'll take a look.
I'm gonna slap Cole. They connect the most advanced ideas found in modern physics with Eastern spiritual ideas.
Okay.
They mutually affirm each other.
I like that.
There's a lot of books you can read about
Why
it.
would they do that?
Because there's overlap.
Because those ideas that
They
were
reaching a different
intuited or discovered somehow, we don't know how the ideas were created, but a lot of those ideas cross over with things that we're affirming in using Western
Yeah.
science, like the
Like-
most cutting edge science of today.
Like imagine this. What James told me that our understanding of math, there's an important distinction that our understanding of math is based in nature, but it's not the same thing. So if
Right.
you've noticed
math is
Fibonacci,
bullshit.
you notice the Fibonacci sequence
Imaginary numbers
in
are
nature. That's like reaching it, from a point of less technological advancement, and then if you theorize it in math, that's like reaching it from a more technical standpoint. And they're different, but they are similar images. I don't know. This sounded similar. To
It's
me.
just sort of odd that the ancient Eastern culture has sort of just gotten it right.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
A lot of things.
It's not that they got everything right or that there's a right way. It's just they used their perception, or I think they were highly experimental. You know, they were discovering things in like tantra and stuff. Using
What's Tantra? What's Tantra?
It's like I'm reading a book about it. It's been described as a complete spiritual system. A lot of it is precursors of Hinduism. So you'll see a lot of similar things between Hinduism.
So it's like older than Hinduism?
Yeah, it's older than Hinduism. It has some kind of, it's kind of like a proto-Hinduism, but it's not the same as Hinduism. And
Like old time and Buddhism?
its ideas are kind of centered around like the joy of living, being in the present moment. So a lot of things that you think of as Eastern, it centers around like there's a really good story in that book that I'm reading. I'll try to paraphrase it. I might say it a little bit wrong, but in the beginning there was nothing. There was just the absence of anything. There was no anything at all. And from that nothing came a pulse of energy, which was love. And then that pulse, it was a wave. So it was a wave. So it was like sound, kind of, I guess, or you know, it was in a wave format, and it was flowing through the universe, and it ended up not stagnating, but it started focusing on certain points, and it created this triangle through those sine waves. Like you can imagine the peaks and the troughs, like two peaks and one trough, and it would create a kind of triangle shape. And through that triangle shape, which is a symbol of the female anatomy, was born the gods of creation. So that's like the beginning of their creation story.
Is that because 2 eggs and a fucking I don't know.
I don't know what like connotations it might have, but anyway, Tantra is really interesting, and you guys should read about it. But
you know what's cool? There's sine waves and there's triangle waves, and they sound similar. And then there's square waves and sawtooth waves.
Saw waves, yeah,
And I
like
like
an
those.
oboe.
That's some chiptune shit. I love that shit. I
I
like
feel like
chip.
I was talking about something completely else, and I got on it.
Oh, Tantra.
Yeah,
But it was part of something else.
it was part of me talking about like, oh yeah, so people who practice Tantra are very experimental. They use meditation techniques and prayer techniques, and they work with elements from their environment and different resonances, stones, elements, you know, fire, water, and these things, and they use them to advance their own consciousness. And I feel like they were like gaining so much firsthand data, like kind
Just
of
from experience.
in a scientific way, because that's what experience is. It's kind of scientific. If you
Yeah.
form a body of ideas about your
I feel like
experience.
science has to stem from firsthand experience.
Yeah, it is. You cannot make science objective.
You
There's
can't
no
just theorize
there
it.
is no such thing as objective science. Even the act of observing something through like a microscope changes the nature of the thing you're observing.
Of course, because you're part of the experiment.
Yeah, so
Just like you listening at home or in your car or at your friend's house
Yeah,
or at your house, you're changing us right now, even though we don't know it yet. You listening in the future from when we record this
changes this
changes
moment.
what we're
yeah.
talking about. That's weird to think
The
about.
same
It's fun.
idea. The same
'Cause
idea.
It's on a higher part of the spiral staircase of time that's resonating with now.
The same
I like
idea.
that.
The same idea is presented in Roland Barthes in The Death of the Author, which argues that like the author of a text, their intentions aren't really important because the reader determines an entirely new text from what the author wrote. So if they intended this or that, it doesn't actually end up mattering. What matters is the text that is transmitted to the reader, and a new body of ideas is born between the reader and the text.
A.V. Terra from Animal Collective has the same idea about music.
Yeah.
Especially like psychedelic music. He's like, it could mean one thing to me and come completely different to the listener. And both of those are exactly as valid as each other. Because it's just different experiences of the same body thing. I like that. Oh yeah, so I had an idea of music theory, sort of, or of tonality that is similar to your idea of time,
Yeah.
and of kind of the astrological.
The astrological wheel with the 12,
wheel, yeah.
with the 12 signs and the
12
houses.
It's
Yeah.
12. Yeah, 12 houses.
12
'cause
houses,
it's all
12
signs.
signs, and then the planets fall in them.
And 12 houses, 12 signs, and the planets fall in line. So, but my idea of music theory, this is going to be really hard to describe without
Visuals.
someone being able to, maybe I'll make a picture of it and put it on the video for this podcast. But so,
Let's see, I'm not
Take
doing
your-
any editing for this. That's
so,
all you, man.
So take your tongue in your mouth. Wait, so stop for a
My
second.
tongue is always in my mouth, man.
Right, okay. But focus on it.
What are you implying?
Just focus on your tongue, man. Alright?
But
Yeah, it can move all around, right?
most places, yeah.
So move it just to the left.
Okay, which
Like-
way's left again? My left or your left?
Your left. So that's C for me.
So they're putting inside their mouths, they're putting their tongues to the leftmost side, like
Like
against
your
the
left
cheek.
side of your lip, your left
What
cheek.
was that?
Yeah. And my
that's
brother
just what my idea
thinks
of where
that that
C
is, in his mind, that's where the note C falls in his mouth.
And then move it to the right side.
Then all the way to the right on the other side of his
G,
mouth
That's a fifth
is
above. And that's only if you move it. You gotta move it like, if you move it down, it would make it go down. Like, but the low,
This
the
reminds
low
me-
F and the high G
You
are
know,
in that same
no,
place.
this reminds me of a theremin,
Oh yeah.
which you play by moving your
Just getting
hand
closer or
across
farther
a.
away.
I played a
Across
theremin. It's
space.
really neat.
Yeah,
It was really fun. Yeah, no, because it's just like,
that's kind of what you're doing with your
Yeah.
mouth. You're making it into like a
you're getting
theremin.
closer to it.
Dude, you know who you have to have on this podcast? Chauncey Hicks.
Yeah.
Chauncey
Oh,
can
man.
talk a good talk.
Whoa, he'll be on it. He'll be on it. You should be a regular as many times as you want.
This is
I feel like
fun.
this is a good driving force. But wait, so let me keep going with this tonality shit for a second. So here, can you play C? It's a C note. That's on the left side of your mouth. And this doesn't have to be your mouth, it can be your whole body or it can be any circle. And then move it to now the top of like your lip. That's E.
I was gonna say that's probably E. Did I get it right? Okay.
That's a major third. So you got on the left side, you have basically two
Oh, it's a third
perpendicular-
above, right?
Yeah, two perpendicular lines, and the horizontal line on the left side is C or any note, and then on the right side is a fifth above or G, and then the perpendicular line at the top is E for C, and then if you were to go up, the bottom of that perpendicular line would be B, like a major seventh, like ba ba ba
That's pretty
ba. But if you were to go down, ba 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 ba.
I feel like you're making this up, but I can't prove it.
How many-
No, I've had this for
How
a
many?
long time.
When did you develop this?
When I was like
When you were
a kid,
a cat?
like
Yeah.
like 7 or something.
7. Wow. What? How many points in your mouth are there? Are there 8? Like,
There's
as in a
So
scale?
it's cyclic.
Yeah, there's 8, but you have to go in between for flats and sharps. So
Ba,
like C sharp would just be like kind of in between C and D.
So there's 8 main
Oh, wait,
points.
so it's like this.
ba,
Ba, ba, ba, ba.
ba, ba, ba.
So it is cyclic, but it's like
You
every
can
time
think-
you go around, you're going up a ninth.
You can think about it. Yeah, you can think about it in different ways because you can think about it only in C. That's why it's adaptable. If you have a song that's only in C, just think about it in C, and then any point of the melody, any notes in that song that are diatonic to C will fit on that same thing. But if you want to do it more chromatically, you can just go up by a pure fifth, using a fifth as the across,
Look.
and then a major third and a major seventh as the
Like,
up
what
and
if I
down.
want to go to C sharp and play all the notes in C sharp?
Ba, ba. You can still do it on the same.
But it's
you
going
just
to
have
be
to go in
slightly
between.
off. They're going to be in between. I'm not good enough at that. Too.
That's why you just gotta make those little spaces.
Can I
in your mouth.
reappropriate my mouth so
Ba,
C
ba,
sharp fits
ba,
in?
ba, ba, ba. Like this is what I do. I go to different teeth.
Can't you reappropriate? Can't you like loop your mouth around
My-
until you get C sharp on the right
My
side?
brother is
Mhm.
pointing his tongue on different teeth in his mouth, which signify different notes to him on the top and the bottom of his mouth and the sides.
And this way you can play an entire thing on a circle. Like, look, check this out.
You could also envision just like an
Right, did I
actual
get it?
circle with the notes, or like
I think so. It's hard to tell from this one. would all go up by an octave. Yeah.
And now I can do it.
You can also just say fuck it. Say I'm gonna have a movable dough. So the leftmost thing is gonna be C sharp. So you go C sharp, and then in between that and up is D sharp, and then here is E sharp is up, and then F sharp, and so on. You go there.
Yeah, but then that's not. What does it do exactly?
This is just how I think about notes.
I
like
just see them.
you can play it. You can play a thing like.
How do you-
Is that empty, by the way?
Almost.
How do you visualize?
Yeah, but like, if I see them differently, I guess. For
How do
me,
you visualize notes?
Taking your pre-explanation sip. The
Cole's
last
drinking
sip of
lemonade that my brother made for him.
New Christian Scott single, The Last Lemonade.
So for me, my first instrument was piano.
Woo, yeah. Woo.
We just fist bumped in piano. Style.
Woo.
Okay.
Piano
We
club.
just fisted
Piano club.
piano. Let's so
So my first instrument was piano. So whenever I see chords, I always see them on the piano. But like, I don't have the full piano. I have like a little octave,
Yeah.
maybe two.
Right.
That gives me pretty much free range to play anything I want. I'm not hearing melodies. Like melodies, I can hear melodies too, but I don't really see those on the piano. I more just see those. I don't know if I see the piano anymore. I used to see the piano. Now I just sort of see them as space.
for melodies, what do they look like when you like take
They're different colors.
take like Danny Boy?
What's Danny?
Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling.
It's a very orange melody.
But do you,
You
see the
see-
movement of notes?
Music as colors.
Oh yeah.
Do you have synesthesia?
Probably not. What's that mean?
It's when you conflate different senses. So like
Like you have
conflating sound
you have
with sight.
an inescapable bond between two senses.
Like my brother used to correlate colors and numbers.
And he does.
But the thing is, I correlate. Chloe actually, when people talk, she will see in her vision,
Yeah.
like literally see
So
colors.
other people don't
See
do that.
colors.
Other people don't.
Chloe has synesthesia. Yeah.
Like,
Other people don't do that.
I mean, I think a lot of people do experience that. When people are talking, Chloe sees colors.
Yeah, she said my voice is purple. I think John's she said was
What's mine?
I forget. I don't know. You should ask her.
She
Okay.
could be seeing auras, like in my book that I'm reading.
I'm sure all of that's
These things
connected.
are- yeah.
There's
Yeah,
definitely a
auras.
reason for a lot of the stuff that just happens to be the same.
Yeah,
Remember the rainbow in the blender the other day?
the rainbow in the.
The
oh
the
yeah.
green, the kale, and
My
the.
brother made an accidental rainbow when he was putting his fruits and veg in to make his smoothie.
Now that I'm a
so
big time podcaster, I only want to eat what's best for my body because I want to keep podcasting for probably 80, 100 years. So I'm gonna be
Great.
podcast legend. So I eat a green.
Great.
I used to have 40 every day. Now I have a green smoothie every day. It's just changed my life.
Yes.
What?
Well, I just wanna.
What?
Dude.
Sorry. That's my podcast
So
character.
I don't think I have that. I think that when I was younger, like for instance, I associate numbers with colors.
Right.
And that's because when I was a kid, I had a little book with all the numbers in it to learn from.
Which
right?
had colors.
And the numbers were colored. And
Right.
those are the colors I always associate with the digits.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Does that cross over to scale steps for melodies and stuff?
Yeah. So on my piano when I started learning, my mom put, little stickers on all the notes, not the black notes, but the white notes to tell me what letters they were. And every time a new octave started, she would use a different color. So each octave is a different color.
Right. That makes sense because at that age, your brain is like the way it's forming. Like all the things that you're learning at that age are kind of also conflated. Like the way you learn then is different from how you learn now. So you can't really compartmentalize the different things you're learning. So all of those things like they tend to merge together. So it kind of makes sense, like why when you're learning how to play the piano and you're learning to count those
They
colors,
become, like, an
numbers, and
inseparable
notes
thing.
become joined.
But so for a melody, like, how do you visualize it in your mind if you had to make it in 3D space? Or just, like, put a
Usually, like,
visual?
it starts at a note, right? And then it branches out, like, up is higher, down is lower, And you know,
What's moving? Is it like a ball or something, or like just a line that is growing?
I think it's a line. There's a little ball at the end, and it's got sort of a spirit going. It's very cute, actually. Here, why don't you play something? Yeah.
I'll do Danny Boy. Should
Yeah.
I play the chords too?
And
or-
interestingly enough, I don't think that the character of the melody really matters. It's mostly just the melody itself that gives it what I'm thinking.
What do you mean
Because
the
when I'm
character,
analyzing
though?
music, like you can play a song sad or happy or
Oh, the same song played different
Yeah.
emotional ways.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really just the notes themselves that really give it. Like when I'm
Yeah.
analyzing music, I'm thinking about exactly that.
But also,
I think it's the exactitude of the notes, color frequencies, sound frequencies. Those,
Yeah.
those
I don't know if the
those
color
are-
frequencies, because color frequencies are all so much faster than sound frequencies. I don't think they're on the
I'm
same
not saying
page.
they're the same, but I'm saying you can be exact about them. Whereas like the way you play a song is just a style.
Yeah, but I'm not saying blue as high and red as low or anything. The melody itself has a certain color to it.
and that's more based on
I think
the.
major melodies, like really powerful, like pentatonic major, are usually blue. I don't know, like if there's a song I'm thinking, if it reminds me of a song and that album cover is blue, that's probably where that comes from.
That could be. Yeah.
Wait, so should I play Danny Boy?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you tell us what you see.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must ride. But come you back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley is hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Okay, so that it's sort of somber, like the melody, like it's drifting in and out of major, but there's a lot of fours in there, which is a very sad. I think the saddest chord in the major scale is the 4. Yeah, especially
I
the
can
4 major 7.
agree with that. It's
1
it's
is
really,
triumphant, 5 is hopeful, 4 is really sad.
Go through them one by one. One is
Here's the 1. What did you say 1 was?
Triumphant,
triumphant.
And then here's a 5
hopeful.
because it wants to.
It wants to
Exactly.
finish
It
itself.
wants to be
In
triumphant.
fact, ending your
Yeah.
song on the 5 is an interesting.
Old corn liquors.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's like a story that ends without resolving the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're
And
gonna
then-
we're gonna get into this in a little when we have EPAB on here in
Oh, yeah.
a couple weeks. But Elise and I used to write songs together, and she'd always end her songs on the 4, and they all sounded so sad. I'm like, just don't
I
do
think
that.
she was sad.
Yeah, I know, but-
she just sad songs.
They were really sad songs.
You know what's
but
one of
they-
my favorite of her lyrics is the one that's like, it's like I went into the kitchen, my dad was there, with his beer and a face of disappointment. He spat in my face and did something else, and he dropped my plate of chicken on the floor. I love that verse.
Okay,
That sounds
so
like a Mitski song.
so yeah,
Yeah.
4 is
Early
really.
Mitski.
So I think that 4 that's very
Pre-awakening
present in Danny Boy. I think it gives kind
The
of a
new
yellow
BC.
feel to the song, maybe
sorry, I
orangey yellow feel to
What
the
was
song.
the first
The
half
Danny
of what
Boy?
you said?
Danny Boy.
Yeah.
The
What
4
gives
is
it-
really sad. Gives it sort of an orangey yellow feel to the song.
It's like sunset. Like think about this.
It's like sort of washy.
You
It's
said,
like if you look, it's like looking at old photographs.
Would you say the 5-to-1 sounds more like the morning light?
That's blue. That's what I call blue.
That's literally blue light is in the morning.
Right.
Oh,
That's pretty
that's
good.
cool. Oh, that's
So
just
yeah,
gonna-
we're talking about. I was trying to explain theory and why like 5-to-1s are so powerful because of that dominant. Yeah. And definitely, I feel like pop music doesn't use that as often as I would have expected them to, given.
in like the 40s and stuff it did.
Yeah, I know, but nowadays you listen to a lot of music that's usually 4-to-1 resolutions. That plagal cadence.
I feel like a lot of pop music now is bum 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 bum.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. That's minor. That's minor. Is this a song?
This is just a lot of pop, and it's like not even that. It never did.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is a lot of 4s as the turnarounds.
That's true because you
Which
can get
are
this as
weaker
minor
sounds,
6,
yeah.
5, and 4.
Yeah, has the same effect, but it's a weaker. It's like I actually love the 4-to-1,
That's a
but
plagal cadence.
it's definitely not as powerful as the perfect cadence.
Well, you know,
4-to-1.
4-to-1 is amen.
Oh,
So all the old ones when
man.
they'd go like. Amen. It's like a prayer. It's like I
Exactly.
want the
I
sadness
see.
to resolve into triumphantness.
Actually, can I see that for a second? All right, I actually worked some 4-to-1. 4-to-1s can be very powerful. It depends on the context. I think actually the most powerful resolution is actually the 5-to-2, where the 2 becomes the 1, so it's really a 4-to-1. But like,
So
So in there, the F resolves to the C, which is the 2 of B flat, which is where we started. But I feel like it wouldn't work as well going the other way. I guess it's really
I would
just a
start
matter
a song like that.
Wait, can I?
Yeah.
Not
I
resolve.
feel like it's just a different different kind of song. So this one would be like.
What song is that?
That's just that progression reversed.
Yeah, but
Because wasn't it where you're doing?
yeah.
What
And
song
that
is
sounds
that,
like
by the way?
it's a lot of songs.
That we just do in those chords? Yeah, that's a certain thing.
What?
That's nice with that.
Hey, do it again, do it again.
I think that is the melody.
No, but what song is that?
I know that is a song. I'm going
Hey,
crazy.
viewers,
Listeners, please let
Please
us
comment
know.
and tell us
Text-
what song we're ripping
Text
off right now.
what song that is to Jasper, please.
My number is
Just comment in this video. Jesus,
7.
Jasper, just comment on the video.
Here, yeah, comment. We should get this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, BBC, CBS, NBC, Podcast Hour.
When you're talking about the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and so forth, in any scale you would have 7, right?
7 notes, yeah.
So,
And then in betweens.
yeah, the chromatic and
But
so
exactly right, yeah.
like,
1, 2, 3, 4,
um,
5. Unless you choose to use more things, but generally it'd be 7.
yeah, so like I'm wondering if there's any
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any correlation between like numerology or like the relationship between a 1 and a 4 as
probably,
numbers.
yeah. Because in numerology, they have their own meanings.
Yeah.
What are some of like 1 through 7? What are the numerology meanings?
I mean, 1 is initiative, creative, because it's 1. It's the 1. It's the number of
I
genius.
feel like this is all subjective though. Like
Yeah.
I have my own view of all the numbers and what they mean, but
Yeah,
other people.
yeah.
What's your favorite number?
It's not about favorite numbers. There's
Well, some numbers mean more to you than other numbers.
yeah,
like
yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
but
5.
numerology has
5
like
is a good, solid
it's a
number.
solid
Five
it's
is-
a really,
a
a
sunny
really
number.
edgy number, but like not in a bad way.
5 is
It's like-
creative. It's rebellious.
It's so rebellious.
Yeah, because it breaks out of the structure of 4 in numerology. 4 is structure. It's it's a square. It's solidity. 5 breaks out of that. Anyway,
I,
not-
I liked 5 because in AYSO they'd always give me the 5 jersey.
Wait, listen to this. So 1, 4. Now listen to what 5 does. Doesn't that kind of break out of the box that 4 set up?
yeah. I mean, it doesn't just have to be numerology, but it could also be like ratios. Like for example, if you have 1 through 7, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 main.
That's bullshit, and I'll show you why.
Wait, keep going.
Wait, whoa.
Wait, Sasha's talking. Cole.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Not you, that him. He's bullshit. You're fine.
Oh. Okay, I was confused because I was talking.
Go ahead.
Like 1 through 7, like what is the nature of the relationship between the numbers 1 and 7, like a ratio of 1 to 7, a ratio of 1 to 2, and how does that manifest in the music?
Well, in music, I guess so 2 to 3 ratio, right? Isn't that a root to a fifth is a 2 to 3 ratio?
Oh yeah.
Like of literal, like the frequencies.
Literal numbers.
And that's why a fifth will resonate really well.
In fact,
Yeah.
fifth is just an arbitrary. We've arbitrarily decided
That's
to
5
count
steps
5
away.
steps up to
Really,
that.
it's just the ratios
It's
of
really
the
7
frequencies.
semitones, and even then, the semitones are arbitrary.
Yeah, because in like Indian classical music, don't
They
they?
have
I mean, not
different-
really. The only reason why the 5th chord and the 1st chord sound right the way they do is because we've defined the semitone. So it's actually not necessarily true. But still, the fifth is really just we've decided that we define the scale that way. Other scales don't define that way. If we're playing in Locrian, the 5th isn't even that.
Yeah.
But also, our what we call a semitone or like a step is arbitrary. Like someone just made that
Right,
up.
exactly.
Because in other
It's
forms
not made
of
up.
music,
It's a 12th of a. It's a 12th of an
yeah,
octave.
but we just decided to divide because an octave is a 1 to 2 ratio. That's why 220 hertz and 440 hertz, they're both an A note.
So what were you
Yeah.
doing before you go?
I was just showing that 1 and 4, if it's in G, 1, 4, go to 4, and then go to 5, 7. Hey, what's up, David?
Is
David!
that David Clymer?
Are you here? Hey, you're just in time for the podcast.
Shit.
There was a bird in the ceiling of this thing the whole
Yeah,
time.
that bird's nest has been there for at least a year, and that bird gets spooked. Let's see if there's any eggs. Ooh, there's eggs. Spring chickens coming.
So the reason why the 5 chord works so well as breaking out is because it doesn't contain the root. It doesn't contain the 3rd. It contains the 5th, but the 5th is the weakest chord. The 5th is the weakest note of a major chord.
Why?
Watch what happens when I play this without the 5th. What happens? You hear the difference?
So you can play it without
Barely
the
anything,
fifth,
right?
and
If I
that's
don't
why
play,
it's weak?
if I don't play without the root, it becomes just a total
David.
mess.
Guys, we have a special guest, David Clymer,
David
back
Clymer
from
is back from.
Kolkata, India.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live right now. David's
Nice.
arrival has been documented.
Can you take your sitar out?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah,
Brought a
it is.
little friend.
How? Okay, we're gonna learn a lot about David's adventures in India.
We basically just have to do another hour now.
Yeah, is this a double
It's gonna
episode?
be a double episode.
We might upload this as 2 episodes.
Nah.
I think we should upload it as 2 episodes.
Nah.
No, we'll be right back after this.
Have you ever thought about car insurance? What happens if you get into an accident? Who's gonna pay for it? Is it gonna be you? No way! It's gonna be us. Call 1-800 Insurance. Yes, that's 1-800 Insurance for some car insurance. Hi guys, we're back. You're listening to the Music Podcast with Cole, Jasper, Sasha, and David. Actually, Sasha, where's Sasha go?
I think she's coming back.
Damn.
Yeah, boy!
Never seen a
That is very nice.
Jesus Christ.
So our friend David went to India, the Indian subcontinent, for several years, and it seemed like several years, and now he's back to share his wisdom with the Western world.
His wisdom.
Not a lot of it, I'll tell you that.
What was your favorite part of living in India?
I think it was the food.
What did you eat on a daily basis? And how
I
much
did-
did it cost?
A lot of biryani. I think that was my favorite.
That's a rice dish.
It's a rice dish, yeah. In Kolkata, it's a rice dish with aloo, potatoes,
Ooh, yeah.
and
Sounds
a
good.
good amount of meat.
That'll fill you right up.
Yeah.
And I found
So this is in C sharp. So it's a cruel little trick that the Indians play on us. Is a lot of the music's in C sharp.
you need 2 seats, huh?
Oh. Yeah. Here, sorry. You here? We
No,
can.
you,
Yeah.
no, no, that's okay. I'll just
I can play in C sharp.
Whoa. So sick.
So the deal is,
Holy
you just,
shit.
the deal is it's just one string that you're going up and down on with one finger. You get a little line after a little while.
Neat.
Yeah, that's kind of permanent there. So it's one string that you go up, and you can go. You can play it on the frets, or you can go.
Well, the other strings you don't move
Which
them.
is in tune, but
The other strings you don't move. Is that the idea?
you don't use your finger on them. So it's the main string that you. That your
So
finger goes on, and then
you
the
can't really do
throat string.
arpeggios or anything on this.
No, well, this is right now tuned with a major arpeggio.
I mean, you
can't,
can
like,
just,
on the
you
major
can't
just move your finger to a different string.
Yeah, you can.
You
Sometimes
can't really play melodies
sometimes
that
you play.
involve. Oh, you can.
Sometimes you play on this string, but yeah, it's very melodic.
Can I take a look at that? It looks like the neck is sort of set back from the strings a ways, right?
Yeah, because so you got this other layer of strings down here.
Just the sympathetic
Sympathetic
vibration.
vibrating.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they're all tuned here to this scale that I'm playing, and then when I play the note, you can hear it.
Fuck, that
Yeah,
sounds so good.
It rings back here.
It really, because it just makes its own reverb.
Yeah, it accompanies itself basically.
God, it's so...
So right now the rag or the scale I'm learning is basically Lydian. It's here's do or sa.
Why are there breaks for like longer ones?
Well, so there's no fret for a flat 7.
Oh,
so here's
interesting.
5. Sorry, it's for a flat 6.
Wow.
5. Here's 6. So I want the flat 6.
You gotta
Like you
just-
gotta move down the fret.
And so if you're using a different
Yeah.
raga, you'll do
So
that.
you can't play
you
both
move the
the
fret.
It's like on a harp when you
and-
turn the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just add regular.
There's no rogs that has both flat 6
That's
and 6.
interesting.
So if I just move down the fret, you know. if I
Why
do
is that?
That's just how the sitar is made. There's just no
It's
no
just,
fret.
is that
for
in Indian
both.
music? They don't usually have a flat 6, or
No, I've played some rogs with flat 6. It's just if I have flat 6, they're not going to have
what are
natural 6.
what are the scales like in that culture? Because I know that we use the 12
So,
tones,
yeah.
but
Yeah, so
it's really
there's,
arbitrary.
there's kind of the 12. There's still the idea of 12 tones. There's some half steps. There's some quarter tones and stuff. It's all half steps though. From here, you know, there's no flat 2, and there's no flat 6. Here's 6.
I think that
Yeah.
prevents the music from being really dark in any way, because the flat 2 and flat 6 are two of the
I mean,
darkest.
you can have flat 2. There are some rogs with flat 2.
Okay.
This
But
one
it-
is
you
done.
just have to move the fret down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I'll just have to pull to it. The main thing that's interesting though is that with Western music, you got a scale, and you go up and down the scale, and it's normal. You know, you hit all the notes. With this, the 1 and the 5 you can't just in this scale, you can't go up from those notes. So if I'm playing like a scale, I'd go 7, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 2, and then going down to hit all the notes.
Wow.
So if I'm here on 1,
So you won't.
I won't go to 2 ever.
And you think of that as you think of the 1 as the start of the scale, though.
Yeah.
But you can't start the
You
scale.
can't start.
on that.
You have to start. You start on 7.
Wait, why can't you
The
start
scale
on
up
one?
is different from the scale down.
Yeah, you just skip notes
Yeah.
on the way up. So it's kind of like what is it? Melodic minor in that way.
Yeah.
Where there's some alto tones going up and down. So you start the scale on 7 or knee.
But it makes sense because the droning is on the 1.
Yeah.
Because do you always play one of the drone strings?
Definitely this drone string is 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you always play this drone string. These are just for kind of like attack, or like if you're playing like real fast. Yeah. So just to kind of fill space. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, come for me. So this is also this is a Miserable.
Miserable.
Yeah, that's your little pick. Yeah.
So that side.
So
down?
what's it like to play sitar without one of these? Yeah, it's miserable.
Oh.
That looks like a tiny hand condom.
Yeah. So yeah, so you see this little line. So you just use the first finger, and you slide up and down.
Is this right or no?
Yeah, that's right. You kind of just anchor your thumb here,
And one finger only.
and your thumb is always right behind it.
Oh, I see.
And when you're changing directions, you can use your second finger. So when you're like going up, yeah, nice. Three. Yeah.
This is like a pedal steel.
Great. Yeah, and that's why it's on this curved metal bridge, curved metal.
You do willing on this.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because on the rather than a flat fret.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I like those little things you got.
Piercing?
Yeah, your piercings.
My
Your piercings.
brother right now, he
Yeah.
told me like, wait, did you change your piercings? And I was like, I've had this for like 3 months and you didn't notice that it was like 1 here and now there's like 2 here and both of them are spiky.
Right.
Oh, do you wanna try
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Thank you for getting this.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that
I'm really,
thing is
really.
sick.
You know I'm gonna make you bring this to my house every day you come
Yeah,
over.
yeah, I'm fine with
just
that.
gonna play it.
So I've heard about electric sitars. How do those work exactly? Or do you
Well,
just
to
know
make
about
this electric, you can get a little pickup,
Oh.
a little here's the
them?
misery.
Do they look exactly the same? Because I know Steely Dan recorded electric sitar on
Some the right pointer finger.
Do It Again.
Other way. No. I'm not sure about electric sitars.
Alright.
I'm assuming they don't have this whole. So this is actually a gourd. You can hear there's seeds in it.
Oh fuck!
Because
It's
it was-
actually
Yeah, it's made out of.
There's a good
gourd.
chance that none of this will get picked up by the microphone, yeah.
Yeah. Let me sit down.
Do I put this on next to my lap?
Yeah, that just kind of sits there.
Okay.
I mean, when I go back in, I don't want to sit on the floor here. When I go back in, I'll show you how you're supposed to sit. You do this whole yogi sit.
Oh, yeah.
You place on the foot here, and it leans on the knee.
Yeah,
Here?
No. You got to be sitting down cross-legged.
on the
Okay.
floor.
Yeah, on the floor. There's like a hole. So then your first finger. You see, I got a little
Yeah.
permanent line here. You're just
It's-
going up and down. The first finger just here. Just goes up and down. And you anchor your thumb. Yeah. There you go.
so that I don't. Oh, I have to hold this up like this?
Yeah, that'll make it easier.
Wanna check it out?
Sure. I can't play the guitar, but it's fun.
Are all the ragas starting on C sharp?
Between C and D.
Okay.
And it's not like this raga is C sharp, this raga is D, this raga just whatever you want to kind of tune the whole thing to.
But it'll always be in.
It will always it's always in that
Wow.
range.
You know any George Harrison tunes or what?
Yeah, right. What's the song? Love Me Do or
Love you too.
Love You Too. Yeah, Love You
Love you too. I love
No,
So I didn't study from the.
Sound like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Love it all day long.
Let me sing. I get it.
Here, you can.
You want to try Sasha?
You can. I'm gonna get out
I'll
of
try
here.
it, but I
real quick.
can't play guitar, so.
This has been the music podcast with Cole and Jasper and Sasha and David. We apologize if this is all incoherent rambling and wind to you. We shall see.
So my finger.
Thanks for listening to our awesome podcast.
And then the thumb kind of anchors here.
That doesn't sound like the attitude of a big time podcaster.
Oh, it's
How
fine.
do I make the
Maybe
little
that's because
sound?
we're not big time.
We're not even talking to the audience anymore. We're just
Yeah, who?
We're bad.
We just gotta play some music after this.
yeah.
And then it'll just be one long episode.
I'll get the mandolin.
Can I move these ones or just
No,
this one?
yeah, just this one.
Oh.
Yeah. And when you're moving this, you gotta play the string. You gotta push way down on the front. There we go.
Yeah, yeah!
Every metal.
Fuck.
I did a thing.
That sounded really good. Hey, we're gonna play a Mitski song. And other songs too.
Hey guys!
Play it C
I only know how to play a G in this thing, so.
sharp.
Well, that will cause some problems, I think.
We're gonna play a mitski song. Let's do it.
So David,
What's up?
I guess you could just kind of.
I can play guitar. I mean, I brought my guitar. I brought my guitar.
So cool. This is gonna be in C sharp.
Okay,
So
I can do that.
actually, let me tune to you.
You just have to do this all the time. Thanks, audience, for coming to our podcast and sticking with us, even though this is probably a really shitty sounding podcast. We really love all of our viewers and
We have 0 viewers.
no viewer. I said
Listen.
viewers.
Yeah, we have 0 viewers.
No, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Technically,
We did it. We
do have
did a
viewers.
segment that's gonna be visual. So
That's right. You have to find it.
yeah, that's fun.
Jasper's gonna do a lot of work. We love. Okay, we love our listener, and we really appreciate that you guys came out.
So the song goes like, if it's in C sharp, it's like.
I can really only play.
He does a drum on it.
I drummed on a mandolin for the apathy. There's mandolin drumming on there too.
Oh yeah.
We drummed on the backs of both our instruments. I did the guitar drumming. Kevin did the mandolin drumming.
Alright, so Sasha, you gotta come over here because that's where the mic is facing. You gotta sing out because we're gonna be loud.
Where is the mic? I don't even see
It's
it.
It's under Jasper's shirt. Like right here.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the
And
wind?
sing out.
Is that the windshield?
Exactly. Yeah. Windshield. Alright. So my God, I'm so lonely. Alright, so 1, 2.
Does it start on that note?
2, 3, yeah.
I'm so lonely, so I open up the window to Mitski.
You got to see.
Wow, Mitski!
You should
a
call
guest
my
on
brother.
our podcast! Mitski, actually, I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to ask if you wanted to go out for pizza with me on a little date. Yeah, I'm really busy. I'm writing like a lot of songs right now. Oh, I understand, Mitski. It's the same thing here, you know. So, but give me a call. My number's beep 7. So, okay. I have to go now. I have to go right now. Bye. Wow, we had Mitski.
Very cool.
On our
Very
podcast.
cool.
That was
I
great.
feel like if we send this to Mitski, Mitski will be on our podcast just to like correct this butchered version of her
No, that was
song.
great. I
Actually,
thought
it was good. I liked it. It was very fun.
What else you want to sing? You want to sing anything else?
What's something that everybody could do?
Oh, all of me.
All of me.
In C
In
sharp.
C sharp. I can go with my guitar. I'll do all of it.
All right, yeah, hold on. I'm glad we got one thing with sitar. We get nobody Mitski with sitar. Where the fuck do we think we are?
What song is that actually in? What key is
It's
it?
actually in C.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because you played it before.
Yeah. And that was nice though.
C, and then the second chorus is an F.
It
and
hurts
then
to bar
F
that
sharp,
much.
right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yay.
I don't even know if I did it with strings. That was great though.
Oh, you know what's a good song you showed me earlier? Was the Vienna by the Fray.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that song.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, that's because it's like it starts in straight threes and then it goes to a swing 9/8.
Did you know the Fray before you showed
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
My
of
brother
how to
used to
save a life
love
off
the
camera.
Fray. My brother used to love the Fray so much, and I like.
Oh, on delay? Double exposure, just waiting to happen. I'm sitting and fading, we two together, 2 lips to the double. There's something about blues, everybody had the sound coming after. I hear it doubly clear.
In the window.
Oh,
Something in G, because that's the best
How
one.
are our seats?
Oh,
You know, were you?
oh, see?
No, I'm a little I'm lower than you.
You want me to?
No, yeah, just give me, yeah.
That's an E flat guitar. David, when did you get
Sunny
back?
out now.
When did you get back?
Yesterday.
So are you jet lagged right now, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty jet lagged. Though I stayed up late last night, so I'm kind of fixing myself.
How late?
To
Did you
midnight.
have sex last night?
How long was that flight? Because India's the other
This
side
is
of the
a
world. It must have
podcast.
been
It was
like.
22
Yeah, we
hours.
said
I mean, it was a
It was
16
two
hour.
flights,
It was
yeah.
yeah, it was 2 flights. It was a 16-hour flight, and then like
Wait, where did you fly
Jesus
again?
Christ.
To Jordan?
through Doha to Qatar.
Oh, Qatar.
Oh, it was a crazy flight path too. It was so I flew from Calcutta to Doha, and then I flew over the Arctic Circle,
Yay!
like over Greenland.
You said you saw the ice wall.
That's
Yeah,
how
I
they
saw
fly
I saw the big ice wall that
That's
the end of the
separates the
Earth.
flat Earth.
That's how they fly 'em.
Like, give me what am I, B? Like G?
You know all of me?
Yeah. What are you saying about the podcast?
Oh, we already said bad words on it, so it's alright to say sex.
So we don't need to get
It's
into
not on
other
the radio.
personal
Who
lives.
cares?
It's not the word sex that got me.
So like,
It's the fact that David was having it,
right?
or not having
Or we could do a different. We do G.
Oh. I'd rather in C.
In C.
Possible.
Alright, let's do C.
What's the
I
C?
know better.
Why not take all of me? Alright, let's
it.
do
I don't know how to. Wait, hold on. So it's
1 and then the 3, so. And then A7. And then D minor. I mean, you got the notes there, so you don't even have to play a full chord. You can play like 1 or 2 notes if you want. Yeah. It's circular. It goes back to C. You'll listen to C. Yeah.
okay.
Alright, ready?
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
On me. When I take on me. Can't you see? I'm no good without you. Take my lips. I wanna lose them. Take my arms. I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry.
That's a short song. You have a beautiful voice. We never talked about that before.
I wanted to sing when we did our jam with Ivan, but like it wasn't really like singing music.
It was very heavy, Jim.
It was
I've been doing All of Me and The Sunny Side of the Street a lot.
Oh yeah.
They both got that C to E.
That's the classic Apartment 6.
Who's that by?
Yeah, seriously. What's that?
Who's that by?
This song?
Those are just jazz
It's a jazz
Who's-
standard.
who's it
Like
by?
Billie Holiday did it.
It's very
I
good.
mean,
Yeah, we know it because we
Michael
did.
Bublé.
I'm sure he did.
He's
Who
a
else
great
is-
songwriter.
We
Did you write his own
He wrote
songs?
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Silent Night.
No,
Carol
you're
of the
joking.
Bells.
You're being funny. He doesn't write any of his songs.
he wrote Silence
Christmas
of the
Night.
Lambs
He wrote
as well.
Yeah, who wrote All of Me?
I don't know who wrote it. I
I'd be
mean,
curious.
it's just a jazz.
I mean, I know.
Jazz
yeah, it's
standard, but
forever.
the three of us were in jazz bands, so like we know a bunch of jazz standards. So we
Yeah, you want to do Wonderful?
Wonderful.
You remember?
I would love to hear James sing that
Marvelous.
with like a really
Snap.
growly voice.
What else we got? Blue Skies? That was kind of goes off though. Goes everywhere.
There's How High the Moon. That was fun.
That's a good
How High
I
the
wish I had my
Moon.
trumpet with me.
Okay, let's do
You want
it.
to do it?
I don't know the changes.
Oh, we should do something we all know.
Let's do something that's easy for
How
us.
about
all.
something like I don't know, like
Figure it out.
R.E.S.P.C.T. or one of those kind of songs.
Yeah, any pop
I can't
songs are-
smell.
any pop
You can't
songs
smell
are
anything?
I
good.
can't smell anything. Yeah, I can't smell words.
Do you guys know that song? Why don't you do right? It's like you have plenty money, 1922. No, not that one.
No.
Nice try, dude.
Or you Pink Floyd, right?
I love
We
Pink
never
Floyd,
finished
but
that
I don't
song.
know. I don't know that many of their songs are more jammy and spacey, like a little bit too spacey for like a vocalist, you know.
Well, there's
I
like
know.
stuff from metal where it's like real acoustic Pink Floyd. Like
I love Pink Floyd though.
what's the song? Like Saint Tropez. You know, from metal. That's like
Pink Floyd?
Yeah, they got like it's a great out metal. It's a great album because it starts with the echoes. No, it ends with echoes. It starts with it's crazy. It's like one of these days where it's just like crazy bass and like distorted voices. One of these days I'm gonna cut you into little pieces. And then the whole middle section of the album is just like acoustic, just like kind of nice soft rock. Then it ends with echoes.
That's
for
like
40
Ween
minutes.
style.
Yeah,
All over.
that's a great album.
Man.
That's not even a chord. That's not even right.
Well,
I'm trying to see
You know
where
what
the
you do?
four of us intersect in
You could do,
music, and it's
what
kind
are
of
what are ones that like are like from the radio that you could sing?
on the radio.
Like from the radio station or something.
I listen to a lot of reggaeton on the radio, so like,
We could do Gasolina, right?
oh my
I
god.
mean, we could.
No,
We
I
could
think,
try.
I feel like we need percussion. What's a good radio song? What about like
Oh my god, I'm fucking gonna find it on the court. Oh my god, I'm fucking it on the court. Oh my god, I'm fucking it on. I don't know.
I don't know.
Dame
gasolina, dame más gasolina. La gasolina, dame más gasolina. Okay, that's as far as we're gonna go with that.
Now Cole seems to be going a little further with it.
What? What are you guys playing?
No, we're on it. We're
I
on
don't
it.
know.
We're on it.
What about like a Bray song or like a
We can do
can
Seven
do-
Nation Army.
what
can
about
do
a
most of the Bray
Stevie
songs.
Nicks song?
Yeah.
Oh,
we do
no.
Landslide, right?
You do landslide.
Sad song. Sad day, sad song.
I need to get my cake real quick. You guys understand?
Can you give me a pic from somewhere? So
Or
David,
like
how'd
a
your day?
Tom Petty song.
Good.
What did you do today?
I hung out with Allison a bit. We went over to her house, talked to her family.
Nice.
Very nice.
How's your dad doing?
Good. Went for a mountain bike ride.
Oh,
I don't know Allison's family, but I feel like they all love hiking.
You know what?
They all love hiking.
Yeah.
That's what they remind me.
They're
Like
very
just
outdoor
through knowing
nature-y.
Allison.
Yeah.
I've been to her house once at like marching band after party.
I think that landslide feels like this, right?
Yeah. They got a nice house just down the street.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I'm
landslide?
here
Yeah.
now.
Well, let's just do it in.
Hence
Yeah.
my presence.
Let's just do it in G.
Okay.
So that it's.
What are we doing?
Landslide? You know
Okay.
landslide?
Sure, whatever.
In G.
It's like starts on the 4, and then 1 over 3,
Yeah.
2.
Saw my life and I took it down. Climbed the mountain and I turned around. Saw my reflection.
Oh, yeah.
Snow-covered hills with a landslide rolling down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can a child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I stand on the seasons all my
And then go to the 5.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. As time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too.
Anyone know the second verse?
There's no second verse.
I've been afraid of
Changing, 'cause I built my life around you. Where time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yes, I'm getting older too. Took my love and it took it down. Mountain and I turned around. Then you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills. The landslide bring it down. And then you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills. Landslide bring it down. Oh, landslide bring it down. That's pretty good, guys.
That seems good to me. What do you call it?
Yeah.
This has been Music Podcast. Cole, Jasper, Sasha, David Clymer, Sasha Burig. Thanks.